Sean Strickland, UFC champ, has caused an absolute nuclear meltdown for talking the way that any guy talks and sharing some very hard truths, absolutely unloading on women's sports, the LGBTQ community, and of course, Bad Bunny, the woke NFL, and more, executing perfectly what Dana White wanted and creating massive headlines ahead of his fight on Saturday. I believe it's Saturday. He trolled his opponent by dressing up in an ICE uniform and did exactly what Dana White wanted him to do. Now, the woke left-wing media is trying to go after Paramount and trying to go after the UFC to ban him, but we know Dana White's not going to do that. So all they can do is scream into the wind. And let's look at a little bit of the meltdowns here. So we have here, Sean Strickland spewed more awful LGBTQ slurs at the NFL, Bad Bunny, and everyone else. UFC and Paramount Plus allow Sean Strickland to spew hate and horrific slurs. Well, they allow the left-wing media to say all sorts of heinous, unhinged stuff about Republicans, and nobody has a problem with that. Now, admitted, it isn't the language that I would use knowing I was on TV, but Sean Strickland is in charge of making this fight popular, getting people to want to tune in. And he fights Anthony Hernandez coming up this weekend, who's big mad about him dressing up as ICE. The latest example, the former UFC middleweight champion showcasing his pathetic fact, came on Wednesday in UFC Media Day ahead of the fight against Anthony Hernandez on Saturday. By the way, now it's a fight I'll be tuning in for. I don't agree with everything Sean Strickland said. I thought he was wildly disrespectful to Gina Carano. I'll be cheering for Gina Carano massively in her comeback fight. I think that's in May. Look, I know she's not 21 anymore, but neither is Ronda Rousey. And I believe that Gina has the heart of a champion, and I think she can win. And Sean, obviously, doesn't, and that's fine. He knows the sport better than I do. Strickland again ran through a tired list of phobic, misogynistic, Islamophobic, and xenophobic tropes. He said his most vitriolic statements for the NFL and Super Bowl halftime performer Bad Bunny, calling the multi-time Grammy winner the bundle of sticks word, and calling the NFL real gay. Well, shocker, this is how guys talked about it. This is how real men talked about the NFL halftime show, right? Look at the NFL, dude. You have that, I don't even want to say that bundle of sticks guy's name, the halftime show, the Puerto Rican, that effing bundle of sticks word. Strickland said, it's so crazy that this is America now. Bigotry and stupidity on full display. I can't wait until this moron is rendered insignificant to the point where his name is never mentioned and never remembered. It's always going to be remembered. He's a champion. Moment he was a championship caliber was the moment I was out. May the gods bless us with a Bryce Mitchell-esque toe curling. Yeah, hopefully they castrate the sport and sterilize it so nobody sounds like you. Nobody like you and likes what you like. That sounds cool. Crying like he wants. I mean, he set the perfect trap for the woke media, and now it's on every single website. UFC fighter Sean Strickland goes on a phobic rant about Bad Bunny and Ronda Rousey during MMA's League Media Day. No one gives an F about women's sports. They don't. The NBA doesn't even care about women's sports. Name 3 current WNBA players that are not Angel Reese or the white chick whose name escapes me now even. The best player in the WNBA, I can't think of her name. I literally can't think of her name. No disrespect to her. She seemed like a nice lady. Okay. But no, nobody cares about women's sports. They are a fan of the white girl going up against a bunch of black athletes. That's why people liked the girl from Indiana. Why can't I think of her name? See, that's what I mean. MMA fighter Strickland went on a bigoted tirade Wednesday during a UFC media event, during which he called Big Bunny the bundle of sticks words, the F word, and said women have been empowered too much to the point where they've ruined society. Strickland participated in the media day to promote his fight with Anthony Hernandez on Saturday night that will air on Paramount Plus. This fight marks Strickland's first bout since he was suspended from the UFC in July for attacking another fighter while working as a cornerman during the event. Paramount did not immediately respond to Variety's demand that they, for comment. Reps for the UFC also ignored them. That's exactly what you do to these woke scolds. You just ignore them. You just say, you know what? Okay, it's like when J.D. Vance expertly showed the world how to deal with this. What do you say to those that were offended? Be offended. That's what he's, that's what they're saying. All right, well, cool, you're offended, cool. And I guarantee you the viewership for Saturday's event will definitely be, now I can't say it's an all-time high, it's not Conor McGregor, but it's going to be what Dana White wants. Now, he wants Sean Strickland to put on a good fight, which, all of us will want. And the great thing is that it's on Paramount, so a guy like me who wouldn't normally pay any money to watch a UFC fight can watch it because I already have Paramount Plus. When asked about Netflix's upcoming MMA match between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, Strickland called the event an insane idea and suggested they should fight half clothed, which they do already. He then joked about Rousey's terrible relationship with her ex-boyfriend. Ronda Rousey can fight, Strickland said. That B can fight. I think she's lost a few fights to her ex, but she can fight. He then said of Carano, I like Gina. She's super conservative. She was hot, I was like a kid when she fought. I enjoyed myself to her once or twice back in the day. Again, I don't care for that. Gina Carano is somebody that I really like, who gave me an interview when she was in the movies and has always had kind words for me and somebody I stuck up for. Gina Carano in her prime versus Ronda Rousey in her prime, I don't know how that fight shakes out. The women are training differently now. But you know what? Sean Strickland didn't have all that energy when you have 100-year-old Mike Tyson against Jake Paul or whatever, or past his prime, what's his name, against Logan Paul, right? We all know what the Gina Carano Ronda Rousey fight is. It's an exhibition. And you know what? More people will tune into that. This is the thing, that Sean knows this. More people are going to tune into 40-year-old Ronda Rousey against 40-year-old Gina Carano than any other female UFC fight, probably since maybe peak Ronda Rousey versus the girl that kicked her butt. Maybe. I mean, it's going to be massive. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to be cheering for Gina. In the later comments about the NFL, Strickland called the Super Bowl halftime performer Bad Bunny a bundle of sticks word, the F word, and lamented on the days when the National Football League was the effing standard of being a man. I think they all got together on the table and said, you know what, guys? How do we ruin this sport? How do we gay it up? Strickland said, mocking NFL leadership. Why don't we bring in a gay foreigner who doesn't speak English and have him perform the halftime show? Based? Tell me where the lie was. You can be offended about anything Sean Strickland said yesterday, but you can't call him a liar. You just can't. Two middle-aged women fighting. Yeah, they are two middle-aged women fighting. And it's the only female bout that I've been interested in that I will be interested in. Now, I assume that the rest of the people that covered Gina Carano's cancellation from Disney will be also tuning in to something that they wouldn't normally be tuning into. Again, I know what it is, but if you have a problem with Gina Carano v. Ronda Rousey, then you have a problem with, 50-year-old Mike Tyson fighting, or Logan Paul fighting the other boxer. I can't think of his name right now. Again, boxing, I've always felt is rigged, so I never really cared about it. But Anthony Hernandez is big mad. Now, again, I need Sean Strickland to back up all this trash talking. Ronda Rousey hasn't fought since getting KO'd in 48 seconds by Amanda Nunes in 2016. The 39-year-old later revealed her retirement was due to a long history of concussion issues. Carano hasn't competed since falling to her lone MMA loss against Chris Cyborg in 2009. The 43-year-old Deadpool star has built a successful second career in acting over the past 17 years. Now Carano is returning to fighting but everyone except Sean Strickland appears to be excited about it. Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's got no interest in it. I'll tell you who does. Normies. Normies have a lot of interest in it. Normies will be cheering for Gina Carano. I don't really even have anything against I don't have anything against Ronda Rousey, to be honest with you, other than the fact that she said the only reason she took this fight is because Gina Carano had gained an unhealthy amount of weight and she was doing her a favor. Nobody's talked about Ronda Rousey in 5 years. Ronda Rousey needs this fight just as much as Gina Carano does in terms of a career thing. And I hope no matter what, both, competitors don't suffer any long-term injuries, and but it opens up, some new opportunities for them is what I'm hoping. Sean Strickland just went insane at his UFC Paramount Media. I can't even play what he said. He's not wrong about Carano. The first time I've ever seen women's fighter hotter than the ring girls. Yep. I just, Puerto Ricans aren't foreigners. Well, technically true. UFC champ Sean Strickland slams NFL for Bad Bunny and many, many more things. I mean, this is an expert class in promoting his fight 2 days before the fight. And I'm challenging anyone to find the lie in what he said. Now, I disagree with him about Gina Carano, but he's probably not wrong. He knows fighting more than I do. But absolutely based and Chad pilled. And I will be cheering for him come Saturday. Absolutely, positively. I hope he walks out of the ring in an ice uniform. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.